And today is St. Patrick's Day, and I want to have everybody welcome to the Tile Happy Hour. We hope you've had a great week, and we're going to end the week this week with green beer cam, and the beer cam is there. John Tedesco is there. Yes, John, I have green beer.
That is on purpose, or is that just old?
I don't want to answer that question, John, because that seems personal. But, John, as always, let's raise a glass.
Yes.
It is cheers to
Happy St. Patrick's Day
and to the Friday Tile Happy Hour. If you've never been here before, you're in for a treat, because today we're doing a lot of things a little bit different. We've got a special guest today.
Yes, we do.
If you saw any of our social media, it's St. Patrick's Day. We've got special announcements. And John, how was your week?
The week was great. It's been actually a great year, and I can't believe we're at St. Patrick's Day. It's just amazing that we're here. The weather in New York's been pretty good, so I'm happy about that. Happy that it's holiday weekend here, and glad to be here with you, Craig.
Absolutely. It's a holiday weekend, but not a 3-day weekend unless you started drinking early, and I promise I have not. But before we get into the meat of what's going on, let's take care of some paperwork.
Yes.
If you're watching today live, welcome. This is your show. We will answer your questions live. All you have to do is comment in the section. I will see it on my screen here at the command center, and I'll pull you up and we'll answer your question. We hope it's on topic, and today the topic is LVT. If you're watching on a playback, that means we're not live. I mean, we're live, just not on the air, right? I mean, we don't want to be dead, but we still want to hear from you. Please put a comment wherever you're watching, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, me, John, whatever. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you have a LVT question or a flooring question or a tile question. Give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, all those things. And John, we made a kind of a cryptic announcement a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to further that announcement about something special that's going on in April. John, can you give me the quick rundown while I find the graphic?
Yes. So the Tile Happy Hour, this being our 4th episode, I believe.
4th episode, yep.
4th episode. So we had our sights on perhaps next year at the International Tile Show, which is called Coverings, to try to get invited to do our podcast next year. And lo and behold, we were invited this year, and they made room for us, and we're going to be live, the Tile Happy Hour with John and Craig, on Tuesday, April 18th at 1:15 p.m. I believe that's kind of in the main entrance of Coverings. I know there's a bunch of entrances, but check it out. Yeah.
It's just as you come in to register. Now, I don't remember the layout of Orlando, but normally there's a big area where you register. There's a desk set up there. If I'm not mistaken, the podcasting booth is directly behind you. And Coverings, as most, a big corporation, they sent us this little cheat sheet that has some had some questions on it. And so, John, I'm going to ask you a couple of the covering questions.
Okay.
That they would like for us to talk about and say. And the first thing was, why would you attend Coverings, John?
Well, if you're anyone that's in the flooring and wall tile, floor tile, covering business, you really need to be there. If you're a manufacturer, distributor, installer, architect, designer, specifier, developer, this is the place to be. Our first episode was actually dedicated to was on National Tile Day, and we dedicated it to the Covering show. And the reason we did that is because our world, our lives circle around the industry, and that show is the best show. And it's just
I thought the right answer was because I was going to be there.
Wrong.
Okay, gotcha. Another thing is, how has attending Coverings impacted you, and maybe how you've affected the industry over the last few years?
Well, I mean, I've been to every coverings literally since it started. So that was maybe
Since you were a little boy.
Since I was a little boy. Literally, it's around 30 shows, I think, right now. I lost count. You learn, there are seminars that you learn from, educational seminars, and you literally get to see products that are new. Sometimes these factories, you know what they do, Craig? They bring products that are new, but they also bring products that they haven't yet committed to producing. They'd like to produce it. They put the R&D into the designs, and they kind of see who's fighting for it, who really likes the line. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Glenn Yulo.
I just came up with a game, John. Hold on. Anytime somebody wishes us happy Patty's Day, we need to drink to them.
All right, let's go. Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn.
He's watching on LinkedIn. If you have a question or a comment, send it by. We'd love to hear from everybody. So today is an exciting day because we have a lot happening. We have we have things that we normally do on Fridays. We have a special guest coming on. He's back in the green room, and no pun intended. And we're happy that it's St. Patrick's Day. How was your week, Craig?
Man, it has been crazy. There's been a lot going on this week. With the normal stuff, it's my monthly training. I do that once a week with our team, the Tilebar team, best team in the biz. Shout out. And I decided this week not only to do our specified training, but to also offer that training live. And I did that today at noon, just to see if I could take that knowledge and get it to a larger audience. Because my goal for our company is to be the best in the business for not only the best looking materials, but for that technical knowledge, helping those come around. And so that's why my week's been crazy. Oh gosh, I may have made a mistake here. Facebook user, if you don't have a name, I don't know about that. But
you know what's really important? What's really important, what you do is there are a lot of companies out there that provide products, and Tilebar, who's our employers, bring in the most incredible material. But
absolutely,
when it gets down to it, the sales staff, the internal teams, the warehousing, everyone needs to know the technical details of the products, because that makes us experts. Tilebar wants to be the best vendor for that client, and providing products is important, on time, on budget, hot new designs. Mm-hmm. But when you're specifying two products and one's 3/8 of an inch thick and next one's 1/4 inch thick, and they're being specified to be put next to each other, we need to chime in. Anybody in industry, not just Tilebar, but any company, Absolutely. If you're an expert, you need to chime in and guide your clients, because the specifiers out there cannot be an expert on everything. And tile is just one part. When I say tile, it could be LVT, it could be glass, it could be ceramic, porcelain, metal, natural stone. So when you're mixing materials, not only do you need to know about the different characteristics, how they're installed, how they're maintained, and the performance, you also need to know how they line up together. And I know today you touched on that.
Yep. And I always tell the team, knowledge drives sales. And yes, we want to sell as much tile as possible, but we want to sell it in the right instance. And John, I know that we come out with a lot of different lines, and there's so many coming. I get emails all the time, but you do something special every week to kind of bring that to the forefront. What is that? Tell me what that's about.
Well, so for about 5 years plus running, I've been doing a product happy hour every Friday. It's pretty much a 1-minute segment introducing products that are new or have been modified to really fit the style of today. Yeah. And did you happen to have the clip of today?
I do. I think just in hot off the press here is today.
Hey, it's John Tedisco. Guess what? It's Friday and it's happy hour all day today at Tilebar, and it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So in our headquarters, we're developing a beautiful display showing all our mosaics, water jets, hand-cut mosaics. Really, really nice. You got to come check this out. Look at this really cool cubed white Carrara, Bardiglio, black granite, all sorts of material. Really nice. You have mirror
We have mother of pearl and marble. We have thassos and glass chevrons, geometric patterns. Really some super sexy mosaics, marble, glass, metal. Look at this. This is a water jet with hand clip mosaics. Really nice, folks. This is John Tedisco. I'd like to wish you a happy hour.
That's great, John.
You know, it was really fun filming that, because that was at Tilebar's headquarters, which is not really a showroom. It's on Long Island, but there's a huge showroom kind of space that's an internal space that management, that the sales teams, that the customer service teams kind of mingle and look at products, and customers have questions and they put them on hold and they go and check it out in person.
Yeah.
But there's been a decision to make that place kind of like a private showroom, not open to the public. But if I had a client in the New York area that was, say, on Long Island instead of Manhattan, I could bring them there. Or we want to have a meeting with an architect or designer, we can do that. And that was kind of featuring a wall of water jet mosaics, and incorporating different types of elements, different types of materials. Some of those things were just launched, and some of the items have been staples of Tilebar. But that was really nice. Did you see anything that appealed to you?
I love water jet patterns. The company I used to work for had a water jet, and I used to love designing stuff and playing with that. Now, I will say, as the technical guy, that's probably the most questions I get about are the water jet patterns. Everything from the grout joints too small, it's and just having to deal with that. Those are quality items, and you have to be a qualified professional to install them and make them look perfect. So great. It's a great product happy hour.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to just not miss the opportunity. Some people may not know what water jet is. Can you tell us what's your description of water jet?
A water jet is a table mounted water jet, just like it sounds. But if you're familiar with a pressure washer and how you pressure wash your house, it's not much different for a water jet. And you can enter in any sort of design you want to into the machine. And that water jet head, which is the cutting stream of water and a little bit of aggregate, is less than 1/8 of an inch thick. So it moves around and cuts out anything you want. I mean, we used to give tours in our shop, and we would hand the ladies a water jet cut rose out of a piece of thing. It is just makes anything you can dream up and put on paper, you can make out of anything, really. I mean, not just tile and stone. It'll cut through metal.
Yeah, it's not reserved for a tile industry, right? Metal, you can cut to a fraction of 1/16 of an inch probably through metal and write your name in script.
Absolutely.
And speaking about detail, I heard today was a Friday fail. Now, Craig, every Friday, does a segment on his own, and we try to bring it to you here if you haven't seen it on separate channels. And it's called Friday Fails. And it's pretty interesting because in speaking with Craig in the past, I said, how do you come across it? He goes, they just find me. All these fails in the industry find me. And I'm guilty too. Being in the industry, you walk in and you just can't help but see the fails.
And this week I was, because you and I were texting back and forth, I was actually at my daughter's concert, and John and I were texting back and forth, and that's where I got sent this Friday fail. Oh! Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now for the Friday fail. If your tile installer leaves for the day and says, don't worry about this, I'll be back tomorrow to clean it up, you've experienced a Friday fail. John, you and I have been doing this long enough. We get those things. And this time my wife was looking over my shoulder, wondering why I wasn't watching my daughter sing. She wasn't on stage yet, just to be clear. And she saw that picture that I forgot who sent it to me. And I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want anybody to be embarrassed. And she said, oh my gosh, that's how they left it. And my wife is a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher.
Oh.
She deals with messes every day. So she knew that was a problem.
I didn't know. I visualized you doing some product demo, showing people how to grout, and then before you cleaned it, you said, "Let me just clean it off and before I do that, let me take a picture of it." That actually was
a real job. And the email that I got is, "Craig, I'm pretty sure this is going to be an issue. Can you confirm? My client sent me this and said her installer just left and said he'd be back tomorrow."
Wow. Well, it's actually not that big of a deal because there's two solutions to that. Me not being the official tech guy like you, one would be like buckets of muriatic acid or a sledgehammer, one or the other.
Exactly. I think either way, we may sell more tile. But that's kind of our week in a nutshell, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's 1/64 of our week, but let's not go into everything. It's been a crazy week. Hey, I'd like to know where people are watching from. If you're out there live, please let us know where you're watching from. I'm in New York right now. Craig, where are you?
I am in the heart of the South. Well, I don't know I'm not sure that's right. I'm just in Raleigh, North Carolina. Right. But John, I've been told I'm driving to the beach as soon as we leave today. So right. we got to keep moving.
All right, let's do it. Let's
keep moving. But today I'm excited that, well, as a tile guy, I've been in the tile industry since the year 2000. And for the longest time, I've hated LVT. I mean, it stole market share and it took money out of my children's pockets. And that's why they struggle today, is because of the LVT industry. But about 5 years ago, I got hired by a carpet company to help them with their tile. And I came to know LVT a little bit better, but not as much as our next guest that's coming on. And his name is Jeremy Salomon. He works for Tilebar. He's the executive vice president in charge of LVT. And let's give a big Tile happy hour welcome to Jeremy. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. And well, you're our first guest on the Tile Happy Hour, and we're not even going to talk about tile. John, how do we do this?
Yeah, this is going to be good. What's up, Jeremy? Let's do an AV check. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right,
there we go.
He was muted. That I'm going to say that was his fault, but it's probably
my fault. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Hey, it's good to see you. Same to you, Jeremy. Where are you? Where are you today?
I'm in the lovely city of Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, fantastic.
And we got a hello from Dallas, Texas.
All right. Hello, Dallas.
Hello, Dallas.
Hello, Dallas.
Yeah. So Jeremy is a EVP of LVT at Tilebar. And the same with me, Craig. My entire life, I was going to say adult life, but even child life was in the tile world. And I knew nothing about LVT, and let's talk about what LVT stands for, luxury vinyl tile. And a lot of products out there have probably been mislabeled as there was VCT, all this old stuff going on, but the technology, just like the porcelain and ceramic industry, has evolved to the point where LVT, I think, used to be code word, but now you can say out loud luxury vinyl because it's really a phenomenal product. And Jeremy just lives and breathes the luxury vinyl tile industry. And Jeremy, so how long you been doing this? What makes you qualified to be this executive in LVT?
So I've been in the resilient flooring industry, or the flooring industry as a whole, for the last 15 years. So I joined Tilebar in October of 2019 to lead the LVT division for the group. So prior to that, I was working for a very large manufacturer of both resilient products as well as carpet, and worked on LVT both from a manufacturing product perspective. So this is something I've been doing for quite a few years now.
And how is it? I would imagine when you're with a big manufacturer and you have so much experience and so much knowledge in the industry, you probably have a lot of ideas on what they should be doing and how they could take their products and their business to another level. But when you're in a big, super big company, that may not happen too often. How does that work?
So that's one of the big challenges for the big manufacturers is the red tape that gets in the way sometimes. So you lose your agility and being able to pivot and respond to what the market needs in a timely manner. So that's what I love most about what we do at Tilebar is we have that flexibility and we're able to react to customer needs in a timely manner and be first to market in a lot of ways.
You know, what I find interesting is we are Tilebar is truly trendsetters. We really bring the nicest products to market, and tile and marble and natural stone has always been known for super elegant, right? No one has ever disputed that. And I feel that a company like Tilebar has an edge over the other manufacturers that produce these resilient floors, because we're coming from a place of such high visual success. And we've designed our lines coming from that angle, because we design our own tile lines, our own colors.
And does that transcend into the LVT line though?
It absolutely does. So we have all of our LVT is exclusive to Tilebar. They've been designed by Tilebar. So we are able to take a look at new woods that have not been developed and put our stamp on the woods from a color perspective, from a graining perspective, to make sure that they're a little more modern feel, taking into account what we know with tile and building tile visuals that are unique and new to the industry that no one else has. Knowing what colors work for our customer base with tile and putting our stamp on that.
What do you mean by visuals?
Visuals would be the print film. So
I have a follow-up question. Being the technical nerd, back in the day, it used to be if you had a stone look tile, you'd only have 3 or 4 different variations on the face, and if you didn't turn them and mix them. And I've heard that is an issue with LVT and vinyl historically also.
It can be, but knowing the manufacturing process helps in developing new products for us at Tilebar. So in developing LVT, we've built print cylinders that allow us, larger print cylinders that allow us to have more faces. And by making tweaks in the manufacturing process without giving away all of our trade secrets, we are able to double our faces or number of faces and repeat by uniquely producing the product. So we can double our repeat size.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Tilebar's LVT is better than the rest of the world's LVT.
Our designs are better than the market in regards to that, and our product construction is superior in a lot of ways to our competition.
Well, and the reason it's superior is not one specific technology. And this is where my understanding, Jeremy comes in. He was thinking of, okay, what's the best surface? Is it what kind of UV protection? What kind of wear protection? What kind of acoustical values? What about the dimensions of the product, the width, the length? The faces, of course, is what he just talked about. And that's been his passion, is to find the right ingredients to put that together and then produce. I was talking to Jeremy once, and the CEO of our company was putting a kind of a wish list, and he's like, "This is a challenge. This technical to accomplish what he wants and what our design team wants is easy on paper, but not necessarily to come out with a product that can be consistently produced." And he's done it. It's really amazing, Jeremy. We're really very honored to be working alongside you. We're really excited about it, and I've come around to embracing luxury vinyl because it has its place in the market, and that place is huge. It's amazing. I never really knew about it. Can you give us just an idea, how does it fit into the flooring industry?
So LVT is a great product solution for a lot of spaces within commercial, residential, light commercial applications. Because of the durability of the product, it can be used in so many different places. The only place you really don't want to use it is in outdoor applications. You don't want to put it inside of a shower where there's standing water. You don't want to put it into an operating theater where you have all the joints and the seams. But outside of that, LVT can be used in most applications. there are different constructions of LVT that might not be suitable for all applications, but that's where the different constructions come into play. And that's why there are so many different constructions, and it's so important to know the technical aspects of the products.
Well, unlike a porcelain, if somebody wants to specify a porcelain, they need to know the slip resistance. But if you're dealing with a good quality porcelain manufacturer, the characteristics are pretty much the same. The installation method is pretty much the same. When it comes to luxury vinyl, I found really interesting is I'm speaking to a specifier. They'll say, hey, I want a porcelain. I'm going strictly to what's your budget and where you're using it. We're talking about luxury vinyl, it's the same, but I'm asking that because I need to know if they need a commercial glue down, if they're looking for a solid core click, or if they're looking for a loose lay product. And those are the three broad categories of products. And interestingly enough, the loose lay and the commercial glue down are dissimilar, but they're also very similar in one respect also. Jeremy, so was LVT always, was it glue down first? Was it a click system, floating system? How did that evolve?
So historically, what happened with LVT, the development of LVT, was there was vinyl composition tile that manufacturers were producing, and customers wanted a more luxurious visual. So what they did was they took the base layer of VCT, vinyl composition tile, and they put a decorative print on top. And because the VCT format was produced in a 12 by 12 format, they went after visuals. The cutting machines were cutting 12 by 12 tiles. So they went after visuals that were in that format. And over time, what they did was they developed visuals in wood plank patterns that they can cut into wood planks. So that's why the category as a whole was called luxury vinyl tile, because it was a more luxurious tile that was out than what was available at the time. So today, LVT, and that was a glue down product. Today it's evolved. LVT has evolved to product solutions that are quick and easy to install for DIYers. They're product solutions that have been developed for acoustical value. They're products that are developed for applications with heavy rolling traffic and commercial applications. So it's LVT. There are many solutions, and maybe some of them could be a one size fits all depending on the price point and what you want to get out of it. But because there's so many options, it's really important to know the benefits of each and to select the right product for your space.
Makes sense. Sounds like we're out of a job if we're dealing with tile work. Is there like a fund for old tile installers that have lost jobs to LVT? Has that been created yet? I'd like
there are
to
a lot of manufacturers, a lot of tile installers that have moved and educated themselves in installing LVT because it's taken over so much market share. So LVT's had double-digit growth in the market year over year for the last 10 years. I
was going to ask when did it kind of really jump onto the scene? And so you're thinking 2012, 2013 was when it really...
It was already in the scene at that point. The only year in the past 20, 25 years that you have not had double-digit growth was in 2009 when the market took a turn. But otherwise, there's been double-digit growth. Even during the pandemic, there was growth with LVT because so many people were renovating their homes and their offices because they were working remote. So there's been a lot of growth within LVT because of that.
Now, was there a time where the quality was there and it had the performance that people say would want for a particular application, but the visual wasn't there and people were like, okay, I get it. It has a lot of benefits, but still doesn't look that luxurious. Was there an epiphany in the industry there?
Yeah, so early on when LVT first made its way into the mass retail locations like Home Depot and Lowe's of the world, it was a very high gloss type product and it looked like plastic and had this bad reputation because of it. And what manufacturers found with getting feedback from customers was it looked too fake. So with an LVT, because it's a print to replicate the natural materials, when the product didn't replicate it very well, it had this perception of being a fake. So manufacturers and designers had tweaked the design, the visual of LVT to make it more realistic. So LVT has made a lot of strides in the designs in the past few years, but I think the big push was moving to a more matte finish, and the different applications, different constructions of the products that were developed that open up the floodgates of where the product can be used.
Now, I've seen, everyone thinks of LVT and you think of the wood looking planks, and typically what was the standard size when that was, what was the first phase, a generation of wood planks? What size?
The first size that was really developed was a 4x36 and a 6x36. And what we found was the trend moved to a 48-inch plank. And manufacturers were trying to capitalize on the efficiencies of the equipment on the line. So with the print films being 1 meter in width, cutting it to maximize the amount of planks you can get out of the print film or the production allowed the LVT to be more cost effective. So you see 6x48s, you see 7x48s, and sizes have gotten a lot larger. So as wood has evolved to larger formats to 60-inch planks and 72-inch planks, you see LVT move in that direction as well, because the fewer planks I have to install, the larger the size, and the fewer I have to install, the more competitive in cost, installation costs it can be.
But I would imagine the longer the product, the more tolerances need to be put into the manufacturing process. So if you have a cheap product, you're not banging out an elegant long size, you're banging out a basic 6x36 or something.
Yeah, so John, you're correct. In the larger format, especially when you get into the rigid core type products, you need to beef up the product to be more stable, to hold its rigidity. And it needs, the tolerances within that are very tight. So LVT tolerances in the manufacturing process are very looked at. So
I would also assume that your substrate tolerances probably increase also. You're only as good as what you're putting it on. You put a longer plank on, your floor needs to be flatter, correct?
Craig, you're absolutely correct. So that's one of the biggest challenges that the market faces in regards to the market wanting a rigid core product is, while it can go over existing floors or be used as a float-in floor, that floor, the subfloor, needs to be smooth and level. And if it's not, all it's going to do is create issues down the road with the flex of the product. If you have air gaps underneath, you're putting tension on the locking system, and that's where you get failures.
And that's probably where the most common failure that I hear about is joints pulling apart, and they think it's a product failure, but from what I've seen, normally it's a substrate failure. Is that what you've seen also?
It is, but I also see manufacturers that are trying to compete in a market with LVT where it's very price point driven, and they're value engineering the product by putting more limestone or calcium carbonate in the product and less binder, which gives it more rigidity and flexibility, and it's more forgiving. So when you pull the binder out of the product, you have joints that are weaker and a little less forgiving in regards to cracking or breaking.
Gotcha. Well, I know, John, you talked about, there was something you wanted to take a look at. Is that?
Well, so we were talking about planks that are long and luxurious types of vinyl tile. And there's a new product that Tilebar just launched. It's called Moxie. And Jeremy, tell us about how this product evolved in design.
So Moxie is a new product, to your point, John, that we just introduced. And we took a look at where the trends were going in the marketplace, and we were taking a look at customer feedback of wanting larger planks that made their spaces look larger, that were easier to install. So Moxie was developed based on that. So it's a 9x72-inch plank. It's a more modern look at wood. We have a couple rustic woods in there, but we've removed some of the natural knotting that happens in woods and some of the cathedrals, and we made it a little more modern in that feel. So what you'll see is what we've done with some of the designs as well and the colors are a little more modern take on colorways as well. But what we've done is, when we talked about the repeat and the number of faces, because these are a 9-inch by 72-inch plank, some of them we've engraved 2 sets of print cylinders to double the amount of faces we would get out of each repeat. So when you think about that, 8 faces, potentially 8 faces on a 9 by 72-inch plank, that's quite a bit of repeat.
72 inches, that's 6 feet where I come from.
6 feet.
That's amazing. And that's a testament to the R&D. You can't just go to a factory and say, hey, let's spit out a 72-inch tile. There has to be a lot of tolerances built in. And Jeremy, could you just tell me, why is there technically 2 types of luxury vinyls, a glue down and a solid core click? Like, why do the 2 exist? I think that a lot of people want to know that.
Well, there's also, with the glue down holds up in applications where you have heavy rolling traffic. So if you think about a commercial space, think of healthcare with a Hill-Rom hospital bed that weighs 800 pounds plus the patient. When you roll that over areas with a click system in the joint, it's just not designed or meant for that. So glue down products are really designed for that purpose. If you have subfloor conditions where they're not going to solve the unevenness of the subfloor or put a self-leveler down, a glue down product is a better solution in that. So there are pros and cons to each of those products. A click product, while it's quick and easy to install, if you get a damaged piece, if someone rolls over a piece of LVT with piece of furniture and causes some kind of damage to it, it does make it hard to replace that piece. Can you cut that piece out? Yes, it takes skill and labor to be able to remove that damaged piece, or you have to remove it the piece by dismantling from one end of the room to the other. So there are pros and cons to each. The acoustical value of a rigid core product, because it's a thicker product and there's an acoustic backing on it, there are benefits to that. There's some added comfort underfoot with a rigid core product. And within the rigid core category, there are 3 different types of rigid core products. There's WPC, wood plastic core. There's SPC, stone plastic core, and then there's magnesium. So there's a magnesium base out there as well. Pros and cons to each. All of the Tilebar rigid core products are an SPC. And the reason behind it, it's been tested, it's true, and we know that it's a stable product and we're not going to have any issues down the road.
So I'm assuming some of the others that are slightly or somewhat inferior, it's a cost factor, right? It's one of
there's a cost factor, and it's our name and our brand behind our product, right? So with the WPC product, there are benefits, there are acoustical benefits to it, but there's been history with some challenges with some of those products as well. So most manufacturers have moved to an SPC construction. What we've done in our SPC construction, I talked about it a little earlier, we don't sacrifice quality over price. So the quality of our product, we put more binder in our product to make sure that it is easier to install, that locking systems are not going to crumble and break. It's just something that we believe.
And there are a lot of other, you talk about construction. I think we may have some technical data on the construction of these, but there's a lot of features. It's not just like a porcelain tile is just clay, where luxury vinyl has a lot of components to it. And Craig, do you happen to have, there we go. So, there are a lot of benefits. And what's interesting is the surface of a luxury vinyl can be, and oftentimes is, the exact same no matter the construction. So if the construction is a glue down, if the construction is a solid core click, the surface of the product is the same. It can be the same. And that's the case with a lot of Tilebar products. So when people are picking between which type of construction, it's not an aesthetic question. It's really a technical question. And there's something that's really, if you look in the second column, it says 28 mil wear layer, 40% stronger than an industry standard. So my understanding is that commercial wear layers, which is how durable something is is 20 mil wear layer, not millimeter, mil, right? If you go to a supermarket and you buy plastic bags and you buy the thicker the mil, the more costly they are, right?
That's right. So John,
Yeah.
you're correct. So the top two layers of the LVT, the top layer is the urethane top coat. And we put the same urethane top coat on all of our LVT. It's a proprietary urethane top coat that we've developed that has anti-scratch properties to it. So it protects against scratching, scuffing, chemical and stains. So it is something that we have developed and is unique for us and has been tested with a lot of R&D. Below that is the wear layer, and the function and purpose of the wear layer is to provide durability to the product, and it protects the print and the design of the product. So the thicker the wear layer, the more durable and longer lasting that product is going to be. So by definition, the industry calls a 20 mil, which is equivalent to 0.5 millimeters, a commercial product. And what we've done on a lot of our products, rather than go to market with another 20 mil product, is we've made it 40% thicker. So we're providing our customers with a more durable, better product than what they could get in the marketplace. So
you can't buy, yes or no, I guess question. You can't buy a material with those parameters at a big box store, the size and or the quality, correct?
No, so you're absolutely correct. So the products that you buy at a big box store have been designed for residential type applications. We've over-engineered our products to know that it's going to be durable and last. Right. Not for just residential, but commercial applications as well.
Right. And I've noticed, I took a look at a product at one of these centers, and I looked really hard to find where the mill was listed, and I don't even think it was listed.
If you're not proud of it, don't write it down.
Right.
That's exactly correct.
Well, John, I think we started off, and I think I'm going to answer the question myself, and then I'll get Jeremy's opinion and then your opinion. The title of this is luxury vinyl tile really luxury? And from what I'm hearing as a tile guy, it's luxury if you buy it from Tilebar, but if you buy it anywhere else, it's crap. Is that right?
Fair. That's fair to say, I think.
I would say not all LVTs are created equal. We've designed our products to be superior in the market.
Yeah. Well, what is luxury is not only a look, right? If you buy a luxury car, it feels good, it looks good, and it performs well. So I think from those pictures that you showed me before, I'm going to vote yes, luxury.
Yeah, I think when I think luxury, I think of a luxury timepiece, and I think of quality build and long lasting. Luxury is longevity. You buy a Swatch to throw it away in a couple of years. You buy a Rolex or a Patek to last generations. Not that luxury vinyl tile will last generations, but there's a difference in the long lasting ability between what Jeremy and Tilebar have created than what you can buy out there in the generic market. That's kind of how I see it.
I agree.
Well, yeah.
And Craig, it can last generations if you maintain it properly.
Nobody maintains anything. That's the only reason I have a job, is because people don't know how to maintain floors and tile and stone. But that's a rant for another day.
That's right.
Well, what's also interesting is I've had some commercial projects where they have a budget for anything, and they choose luxury vinyl for many reasons. And one of the reasons I found it was a showroom for a clothing manufacturer in Manhattan, but it was only open to the trade. The dealers would go in there. They wanted the ability to change that floor in 10 years from now or 5 years from now without A, having to take jackhammers, A, and then B, didn't spend, $20 a square foot to install it like a porcelain could. So there's luxury also kind of gives you options. And in this case, because of the relatively low cost of luxury vinyl compared to porcelain, compared to the absolute definite savings in labor, then that's luxury also, because it's giving you choices, right? In life, when you have choices and you have the ability to do what you want to do, that's luxury, right? And I think that's where the LVT products definitely fall into. And we're actually, there's something, you think the Moxie is cool? I mean, it's phenomenal. But we have stuff that's going to be launching real soon that actually I have an announcement. Can I make an announcement?
Go for it.
All right.
I don't care.
So there's something called NYC by Design. It's an annual design. It's a design week in New York City. And it starts off with the ICFF show at the Javits Center. And it's followed by award ceremonies and parties. And it's a week-long festival. They call it a design festival. And during that week, there are 200 curated events across Manhattan at showrooms pretty much. And I'm happy to announce here for the first time that on May 24th, the Interior Design Society of New York City, which I happen to be the current president of the chapter, in conjunction with Stacy Garcia Inc., in collaboration with NYC by Design Week, is bringing a design drop runway show of new products of the Stacy Garcia line, and it's sponsored by Tilebar, Coraseal, and Libatex. And those three brands all happen to have products that were designed by Stacy Garcia Inc. And Stacy's going to be there. Her team's going to be there. It's going to be an exclusive event, registration only, must be in the trade. And so it's May 24th at Tilebar in the Flatiron District in New York City. So take a look, keep your eye out for invitations, keep your eye out in the social media for announcements of this. And we're going to see, Jeremy, can you give us a sneak peek of the two groundbreaking designs that are going to be introduced on the luxury vinyl side for Stacy Garcia?
So what we did in collaboration with Stacy was take a look at the installation process and design of LVT to say, what can we do to enhance the design and provide a more luxurious visual for our customer base? And what we did was we designed a chevron and parquet and a traditional wood plank that coordinate and work together, same colorways, to make an installation of a chevron or a parquet viable in a click product. So a DIY product that could not be done prior to our development of this chevron and parquet. So it's groundbreaking what we've done with Stacy.
I've seen or heard of rather where a specifier will take an LVT and just just install it in a chevron, like take a strip that's 48 inches and what are the pitfalls there?
Well, the challenge with that, with a click product, is as soon as you cut a square edge off to try and do a chevron, the product can no longer click together. You lost the integrity of the product. So that's what we were able to solve with building in the design of a chevron or parquet into our exclusive designs.
Craig, have you seen that where I know the answer, where designer says, let's do this. And then the installer's like, what the F?
Absolutely. And then they're in the field trying to remanufacture something. It happens all the time. But what I'm impressed about is this is our fourth show and it's like dropping truth bombs here.
Yeah.
People are announcing things. We're getting, I don't know if we're invited to this big thing in New York City. I'd have to find my New York City clothes. But a lot of good information is coming out today that the flooring industry is learning on our show for the very first time, which is amazing.
Well, get your best T-shirt ready, Craig. It's going to be a good party. I think I'll get you an invite, Jeremy. Of course, yeah. But this has been really informational. It's been really exciting to hear straight from Jeremy, who's key to Tilebar's success.
Absolutely.
And it's not only Tilebar success. I mean, there are things that Jeremy and his design team with the manufacturers have developed that I know the competition is like, holy crap, how did they do that? And they're chasing our tails. But I have to tell you, that's how Tilebar operates.
We push the innovation forward. That's what we're doing. And Jeremy, I'll reiterate what John's saying. Thanks for doing that on the LVT side and pushing that out there and not just carrying 6 different colors of red oak in a 6x36, because that's easy to do. What we're doing, in my opinion, is not easy, and I appreciate you carrying that ball.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So this has been really a great conversation with Jeremy and with Craig, talk about all the things happening in the industry, but it doesn't end here. We have more episodes coming. I'd like to say maybe, hey, since we're in the spirit of dropping, Stacy Garcia is going to be a guest on our show.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the date is in the works, so stay tuned, folks.
I have some bad news.
What's that? Oh, their beer cam.
It's empty.
You have no more beer.
I'm out of beer, so I think that what that means is we've got to end the show.
Yeah, I see you get your priorities straight. Well, folks, this has been really a lot of fun. Jeremy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And if anyone has any questions regarding luxury vinyl products, how to install it, where to install it, why to use it in certain applications, why not to use it in certain applications, put this on any of our social media channels, send us a text, an email, and we'll certainly get back to you. And if Craig and I can't handle it, we'll have to ring up Jeremy and get the correct
find the answer. Absolutely.
We'll get the answer.
Find the answer.
That's it. Well, folks, happy St. Patrick's Day. It's been really fun. This is John Tedisco. I'd like to wish you a happy hour.
And as always, we just keep learning together and tile the world.